Monster Hunter World provides hunters with numerous tools and weapons to take on the beasts that roam the world. With each weapon comes a unique set of moves and mechanics that a hunter must master. With training and knowledge of these, a hunter can decimate the monstrous foes that lie in their way. I'm Darblade, and in this video we're going to bring you a hunter's guide to the dual blades. The dual blades are a set of short blades, normally taking the form of swords or axes. Whilst their reach is quite short, they nonetheless allow a hunter to unleash an onslaught of fast, quick attacks on a monster. Because the attacks with the dual blade are so fast, elemental and status damage builds up quickly. The hunter is also able to remain quite mobile with the weapons. And finally, if you should utilise the demon and archdemon mode of the weapons, then a hunter's damage output is increased vastly. But anyway, let's move on to the basic moves of the dual blades. Now the dual blades have 3 modes: normal mode, demon mode and archdemon mode. We'll go over the details of how to go between these different modes in the mechanics section, but for now we'll just talk about the basic moves of each mode. So first let's talk about the move list available to normal mode, which is what your hunter starts off in. The first move is the lunging strike, which is either done by drawing your weapon by pressing triangle and forward whilst your weapon is sheathed, or by pressing circle if your weapon is drawn. Next is the double slash, which is done by pressing triangle. This can then be followed up into a double slash return stroke, which is followed by a second triangle, and then it finally leads into a circle slash, which is triangle a third time. This in itself is a short combo in normal mode. Anyway, going back to moves that follow off from the lunging slash, which was either your draw attack with triangle or circle. You have the rising slash, which is triangle after you've performed a lunging strike. And then there's round slash, which is a second circle after you've performed a lunging strike. The final normal move is demon mode, which is done by pressing R2. You can either do this as your drawing attack, whilst walking, or mid-combo. This will activate demon mode. Whilst in demon mode, you'll have a new set of moves available to you. First is demon fangs, which is done by pressing triangle. This can be followed up again by twofold demon slash, which is a second triangle. And then finally a strong hitting move is the sixfold demon slash, which is a third triangle. Again, this in itself is quite a nice combo. You then have the demon flurry rush, which is done by pressing circle, which can then be followed up either by a rising slash, which is triangle, or a left round slash, which is done by pressing circle after the demon flurry rush. You can then follow this up by pressing circle a third time to perform a double round slash. The strongest move performed with the dual blades is also available in demon mode, which is the blade dance, which is done by pressing triangle and circle together. This move performs a series of quick slashes that in itself, the slashes don't do much, but combined all together, they do a lot of damage. However, this locks your hunter in place until he has finished performing the dance. So make sure the monster isn't going to move or attack when committing to performing this move. And then next is the demon dodge, which is done by pressing the direction and X. This replaces the basic roll available to the hunter. It's quick, it's fast, but it consumes stamina. The next basic move is the fade slash. This can either be the left or right fade slash. This is done mid-combo by holding left or right and pressing triangle. This will cause your hunter to dodge to the left or right depending on which direction you're holding, while slashing along the way. And finally is exit demon mode, which is pressing R2 whilst in demon mode. Now, should you do enough damage whilst in demon mode, a gauge will fill up, and once you return to normal mode, it will no longer be normal mode. It will instead be known as archdemon mode. Whilst in archdemon mode, you get another moveset available to you. This combines moves from the normal moveset and your demon moveset. So triangle performs a double slash, press triangle a second time to perform a double slash return stroke, and then perform a circle slash by pressing triangle a third time. You can also perform the amazing demon flurry rush by pressing circle. You can also go into the demon flurry rush by pressing triangle whilst your weapon is sheathed, or following your weapon bouncing off an enemy's hide, which can then be followed up either by a rising slash with triangle or a round slash with circle. You're also able to perform a demon flurry, which is triangle in circle, similar to the blade dance, but not quite as effective. It also quickly depletes the demon gauge. But anyway, that's about it for the basic moves. Let's move on to talk about the mechanics of the dual blades. Now the first thing you have to get to know is the 3 different modes: normal, demon and archdemon. You can tell which mode your hunter is in through numerous indicators. For one, how your hunter looks and stands is an easy sign of which mode your hunter is in. If he's in normal mode, there will be no red glow around him. If he's in demon mode, they will be holding their blades in a reverse grip, also known as a Zatoichi grip, and they will be surrounded with a red aura. And once they enter archdemon mode, it will look similar in stance to the normal mode, except your blades will be glowing red. The main reason to go between these various modes is to give you access to new movesets and allowing you to potentially do more damage, with demon mode being the best, but demon mode also gradually drains your stamina over time. So the idea is to do as much damage as you can in demon mode to actually enable archdemon mode. Then coming out of demon mode, either manually or when your stamina runs out, enables you to continue your assault in archdemon mode until your stamina replenishes, and then you can go back into demon mode once more. But anyway, this is all dictated by the demon gauge, which is an indicator found underneath your sharpness gauge in the top left of the screen. Now normally it just looks like two dull grey swords. However, once you enter demon mode, they will light up with a red aura around them. As you start hitting monsters in demon mode, this meter will start to fill up red, starting at the hilt and working its way up to the tip of the blade. Once it's full up and you drop out of demon mode, the red aura around this gauge will drop out. However, the meter inside will start flashing red and white. This indicates you're in archdemon mode, and it will start depleting over time, or as you start performing certain moves. Once this gauge completely empties, then you will revert back to normal mode. However, you can stop the demon gauge from depleting by going back into demon mode and start doing damage once more. Trying to keep this gauge full and going between demon and archdemon mode to manage your stamina is what you should be aiming for optimal performance with the dual blades. Now the last mechanic you should be aware of is more of a move than a mechanic. It's known as the Heavenly Blade Dance. This move allows you to carve a series of slashes along a monster's back whilst in demon or archdemon mode. However, to perform this you have to utilise your environment. If you're performing a slide or aerial attack whilst in demon or archdemon mode and then press triangle or jump and triangle, you can potentially lock onto a monster's tail or head and then start rolling down the length of their body, slashing along the way. This can do impressive damage. However, it can make it difficult sometimes for hunters with dual blades to successfully perform a mount on a monster. Nonetheless, the Heavenly Blade Dance is a quicker way of dealing damage, but means you miss out on the stun. If you still want to mount a monster, then consider just jumping off a ledge with your weapon sheathed and pressing triangle. Don't utilise demon mode, and for best results, just do it in normal mode. Another great thing as well about the Heavenly Blade Dance is that the larger the monster, the more damage that this move will do. This is because you'll spend a longer time slashing down the monster's back. But anyway, let's move on to talk about the useful combos available to the dual blades. Now when it comes to the useful combos, a lot of them can be intertwined with one another. You don't have to do what is specifically said with this, so you can mix and match. First we'll talk about the normal mode combos. There's only really two. The first is the circle slash combo, which is simply done by pressing triangle 3 times. This is a pretty straightforward combo on the spot. The next is an adaptation of this, which adds a lunging strike, which is done by pressing circle at the start of the combo. So it would be circle, triangle, 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 triangle. This allows you to push towards a monster's location, adding a 5th hit to the combo. However, you don't really want to stay in normal mode that long. You want to enter demon mode as quick as possible and start doing the best combos available to the dual blades. The first basic combo would be the 6-fold demon slash combo, which is simply done whilst in demon mode by pressing triangle, triangle, triangle. This also fills up your demon gauge quite quickly. The next combo would be the fade slash combo, which potentially is an infinite combo as long as you've got stamina. Again, it's done in demon mode, and to do this you press triangle, triangle, then you hold left or right, and then press triangle again. You then rinse and repeat this combo as long as you wish. Now whilst this combo isn't the most damaging, there is nonetheless no break in this combo, so you can keep going for a long time. It also has a nice dodge mid-combo, allowing you to get out of the way of a monster who's potentially being a little bit too aggressive, while still being able to continue an assault on them. Next is the Blade Dance combo, which is triangle, 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 followed up by triangle and circle. This is probably the highest damaging in the shortest space of time combo available to the dual blades. However, because it does utilise the blade dance, it means the end part of the combo will lock you in place. So this is best used when a monster is stunned, disorientated or knocked out. This combo again has to be done in demon mode. The reason you utilise the 6-fold demon slash instead of just spamming the blade dance is because there is a pause at the end of blade dance, and the actual damage output you can perform with triangle, triangle, triangle plus the blade dance is actually higher than just spamming blade dance alone. The next combo is a very basic one. It's the demon flurry rush into the blade dance. This combo is very short and sweet. It gets you from point A to point B very quickly, enabling you to still get a decent damage output in a short window of time. However, this again is best used on monsters who are stunned or incapacitated and you need to get to their location quick. And next is the Demon Flurry Rush combo, which can actually be performed whilst in demon mode or archdemon mode. This is a combo that really comes in handy against fast moving monsters. It also keeps your hunter quite mobile and potentially out of harm's way. However, the damage is not the greatest and a lot of hits may miss. How you use the camera as well also will affect how useful this combo becomes. If you're using a focused camera, then during this combo just ignore the L1 part of it. If you're using the target camera, which is what I do, then you have to utilize the L1 button in this combo. Anyway, to start off, you press circle to perform the Demon Flurry Rush. You then press triangle, triangle, then L1 to focus back onto the monster, and then press circle again whilst holding up to instantly perform a Demon Flurry Rush back towards the monster again. Triangle, triangle, L1 again, then up and circle again, rinse and repeat. This combo can be done indefinitely as long as you have stamina and demon gauge to do so. It can take a little bit of time getting used to this combo, but nonetheless it's a nice one to utilize, especially if you can't utilize your blade dance combos and more high damaging ones. Now lastly, the Archdemon mode combos. The main one to use apart from the Demon Flurry Rush combo would be the Demon Flurry combo, which is simply triangle 3 times and then triangle and circle at the end. Now it should be worth noting that whilst in Demon mode and Archdemon mode, the Blade Dance and Demon Flurry can be added to any of the combos. So if you get an opportunity to catch a stationary monster for a few seconds, it may be worth just pressing triangle and circle to unleash some of the highest damaging moves available to the dual blades. But anyway, let's move away from the useful combos and talk about the aerial and environmental moves available to the weapon. Now, despite having 3 modes, all the environmental and aerial attacks are surprisingly similar to one another. First, in normal mode, whilst jumping off of a ledge, you can press triangle to perform a jumping double slash. You then have the sliding slash, which is done by going down a slope, by either pressing circle while walking down the slope, or by drawing your weapon with a direction and triangle whilst on a slope. This will cause your hunter to slide down the hill, initially slashing on the way. This can then be followed up by either X to perform a jump, which can then be followed up by a jumping double slash, or press triangle again to perform a mid-air spinning blade dance, which can then be followed up again by a second triangle to perform a spinning blade dance finisher. You can also run up walls or trees with mushrooms on and then press triangle to perform a jumping double slash, or by pressing R2 to enter demon mode. Once you enter demon mode, you can then go into the mid-air spinning blade dance and then spinning blade dance finisher again by pressing triangle and triangle. It should be noted that whilst in Demon mode and Archdemon mode, should you successfully land the mid-air spinning blade dance, then you will go into the heavenly blade dance, slashing along a monster's back as you go. Now also whilst in Demon mode and Archdemon mode, should you press circle to perform the Demon Flurry Rush into a wall or tree with mushrooms, then you will instantly run up it and perform the aerial attacks available to you. But anyway, let's move away from the environmental and aerial moves to talk about the additional tips for the dual blades. Now as I mentioned, Demon mode is the mode you want to stay in the most, but unfortunately whilst you do get faster dodge and stronger attacks and movesets, it will drain your stamina, so stamina management is required for this weapon. Trying to keep an eye on it and adjust it through gear, jaws and so on is something you have to get used to. If you should let your stamina deplete completely, then your hunter will be at a disadvantage, not only going back to either normal mode or Archdemon mode, but you won't even have the basic stamina to roll out of the way of an incoming attack. So it's best to keep an eye on your stamina gauge, and when you are about to run out, instead of letting it drop completely, just switch back to normal mode or Archdemon mode with R2, so at least you have some survivability. As I mentioned as well, managing the demon gauge and switching between demon mode and Archdemon mode is key to success with this weapon. So whilst managing your stamina, also be aware of your demon gauge and manage that as best as you can. I would also advise getting used to Demon Flurry Rushes as well, as these can help you reposition your hunter quickly and damage a monster along the way. It should also be noted, like I said at the start, because these weapons are very fast, it enables them to effectively build status effects on a monster, inflicting them with paralysis, sleep, poison and such very quickly. The same goes for elemental weapons as well, so this is something to be aware of when selecting which weapon you want to use. It's also worth noting that certain attacks while in demon mode will break through a monster's hide. This is because they come with a natural mind's eye. Whilst not all of the attacks, some of the main hard-hitting ones, i.e. the Blade Dance and Demon Flurry Rush, will easily allow you to continue your assault on a monster. And lastly, the dual blades, due to the fact that they hit quite fast, especially in demon mode, it means that they go through sharpness very quickly when compared to other weapons in the game. So having items and such to reduce the amount of sharpness you lose could be something to consider. If not, just make sure that you have your whetstone ready at all times. But anyway, let's move away from the additional tips to talk about the pros and cons of the weapon. The first major pro are its fast attacks. The weapon is so fast and its combos are very quick. And whilst the individual hits are not that much, the fact that you can string together so many in a short period of time means that the damage output of this weapon is very high. The next major pro is its mobility. The weapon doesn't really weigh you down whatsoever. On top of that as well, you get moves that enable your hunter to move quite quickly, whether it be the demon dodge or the demon flurry rush. It all enables your hunter to keep quite mobile. These can all be used to either get out of the way of an attack or to simply switch locations to continue your assault. And then finally with the pros is the demon and archdemon modes. Both of these together work in synergy to enhance a hunter with dual blades. So whilst there is a little bit of management behind the gauges and your stamina, it nonetheless allows a hunter with dual blades to perform high amounts of damage. However, when it comes to the cons, the biggest one is that it is a stamina reliant weapon. Whilst it's not the end of the world, it means you have to keep an eye on it. And if you should deplete your stamina, then not only will you have to wait until it recharges, but it could potentially put you in a dangerous situation. And the other major con is that they are short weapons, unfortunately. Their reach is not very far, so if you're fighting a tall monster for example, it's going to be hard to actually hit their weak points. When that's the case, it's normally just wise to wail on a monster's legs until they fall over and then hit their heads that way. So with this in mind, try to find tools and that can help you bring down a monster so that your weapons can successfully reach them. Now overall, the dual blades are a DPS user's dream. Whilst yeah, there are some issues when it comes to stamina and the reach of the weapons, they are nonetheless some of the fastest weapons in the game. Their combos are lightning quick, and although the individual damage is low, stringing these fast hitting combos together allows you to do a lot of damage within a small window of time. If left unhindered, this damage can really rack up. Of course though, a monster isn't just simply going to roll over and let you hit them for 10 minutes, they will be moving around, and when this is the case, the dual blades are able to utilise a lot of mobility options, keeping the hunter on the move, and while at the same time allowing them to still cause damage to their foe. You also have to be aware of some of the animations with this weapon because they do lock you in, especially when it comes to the blade dance and demon flurry. So make sure you're in a safe place before committing to these strong moves. Now if you're a player who likes to be DPS, is not necessarily interested in having huge singular hits, but nonetheless still wants to be able to put out a lot of damage, then the dual blades are definitely a weapon I would recommend. They are also very satisfying when you're able to pull together a long string of hits and then end it in a blade dance. Now remember that the damage numbers and effectiveness of all the weapons can vary due to numerous factors, from gear, buffs, monster defenses to even the environment. All of these can help or hinder a weapon's performance. With that in mind, learning as much as you can about your weapon can help achieve a successful hunt. Anyway, I hope you found this video informative, and until next time, I've been Darkblade, bringing you a hunter's guide to the dual blades in Monster Hunter World. Hope you enjoyed the video, thanks for watching, subscribe and like for more.